Live
octopus.
nowadays.
It's just before he.
Huh?
I said I'm live.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know. You ain't gotta stop doing what you're doing. I'm just letting you know.
Alright.
I said you don't have to stop doing what you're doing.
Or really any
Okay.
specific previous design, but he did take a lot of inspiration from a variety of different creatures in the animal kingdom. He
I was
feels it's
just making
important
it
to keep
known
things like
that I
this
was recording.
organic and believable no
Oh.
matter what you're making. He wound
Talking
up
about
designing
something that you
two of
didn't
these
want
creatures for
to,
the Halloween horror event with
Huh?
in case you did, in case you was talking about some, wanting to talk about something private, babe. That's the reason why I was telling you.
Oh, okay.
were made out of latex, but he also had a silicone one created specifically for himself, which sits in his home proudly on display, which is something I know I personally would totally do if I was ever given the chance to create an animal for Jurassic Park. Jim also happens to have a big old spitting Dilophosaurus head hanging up like a hunting trophy in his home, and if that doesn't scream massive Jurassic fan, I really don't know what does. But to run down everything that we learned real quick, the Grebnadu was a genetically hybridized creature created by Dr. Burton for the insane Project Evolution. Its design was recommended to be heavily influenced by the graboids from Tremors, and Mr. Udenberg used a lot of sea and snake-like creatures to personally inspire him when creating the beast. During the event, it would pop out of the bushes and scare people whenever they unsuspectingly walked by. Oh, by the way, when it did that, compressed air would get sprayed on the guests through little nozzles that were installed in the Grebnadu's head. Talk about pretty cool effects work. Now, I want to thank Jim for giving me the rundown on this thing because I personally believe it to be one of the most unique and wild-looking hybrids in the entire franchise. You would never see this in a movie, and I honestly think more people should see this thing ASAP. It was a real pleasure to hear directly from the source everything there is to know about the incredibly rare and deadly clone known as the Grebnadu. Now, guys, what do all of you think of it? What are your thoughts and opinions on this creepy, outlandish prehistoric beast? Also, have you ever heard of this thing before in the past? I want to know. Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. So for today's video, I really wanted to talk about Fallen Kingdom's Indoraptor. In the final film, we see that the animal's design is pretty creepy. Dark black scales with a gold streak going down its back, and an assortment of quills adorning its head and forearms. These physical attributes go along really well with the ugly teeth that jut out all over the animal's face. The hybrid also comes complete with a really bizarre ticking movement that gets shown off prominently during the mansion stalking sequence. If you take a look at the body of the dinosaur during this portion of the film, you can see that he has a lot of unprovoked twitches and convulsions that almost look painful in my opinion. And seeing as how the Indoraptor was indeed a prototype, it makes a lot of sense for him to have some sort of creepy genetic imperfections that lead to him living a life that's less than comfortable. Well, originally, the production of Fallen Kingdom was actually going to double down on these traits and focus on how the hybrid was truly an imperfect experiment when compared to its InGen siblings. Take a look at some of this concept art that was done by Christopher Brandstrom. Here we can see that the Indoraptor appears to have a wide variety of unnatural growths, or even ingrown scoots adorning its head. At this point in the developmental phase, the filmmakers were still trying to pin down exactly what this new hybrid prototype would look like. And one of the ideas that Chris really honed in on is the more pink-colored, tragic animal that we see in these images. Sometimes deep grooves and dead eyes were conceptualized during production, and they kind of give the animal a considerably different look than what we ended up with. The inclusion of disgusting lumpy shapes protruding out of the poor guy's head make for my favorite rendition of this early design. There's just something about a failed genetic dinosaur experiment that speaks volumes to me, especially in Jurassic Park. Now, another design that was used early on happens to be a much more reptilian-looking clone that features a bit more of the Indominus Rex's skin tone. At this point in time, I don't really know if they were planning on going for the more tortured route, or if they decided to go for something a bit more natural looking. But since these look so radically different from the last pictures, I'm going to assume the latter. So, this handful of Indoraptor designs really seems to imply that the hybrid abomination aspect of the creature was going to be played up much more upon initial conception. I don't really know how much they would have strayed from these images if they would have ever chosen to build a full animatronic off of them, but I don't think it would have been too different. In the version of Fallen Kingdom that actually came out, the film doesn't really explore any of these ideas about discomfort or unnatural behavior through any sort of dialogue-heavy exposition, although it is true that we're told numerous times in the film that the creature is a prototype. Instead, J.A. Bayona shows us the creature's imperfections by letting the camera linger on its body while it performs seemingly simple tasks. I can't say for certain whether or not the animal would have had these abnormalities discussed in the script, but since Fallen Kingdom followed in Lost World's footsteps by having around 30 minutes cut from the movie, I will say that is a very real possibility. But genetic defects weren't the only thing that was going to define the Indoraptor during this design process. Concept art by Jama Jurabej suggests that at some point in time, they weren't too sure as to what exactly the Indoraptor would look like at all, really. Here we can see instances where the quills that sit on top of its head aren't really present at all, and in some instances, they're replaced with a crest that looks remarkably similar to that of a Dilophosaur. This particular design would be something that was played around with right before the final rendition was lead into the movie. It's important for me to note here that all of the Jurassic Park films undergo a pretty good visualization process during early development. Each and every dinosaur you know to be in the movies has undergone some sort of different color scheme, skull shape, or total revamp when it comes to their depictions on film. Previous videos I've done on the red raptors we never got to see in JP3 should be a pretty good example of that. And with all of that being said, I'd love to ask you guys what you think about all of these different designs. Are you a fan of the Indoraptor's final look in the film? I know that I certainly am. That thing feels way more chaos effect than the Indominus ever. Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about one of the newer hybrid dinosaurs that's been introduced into the franchise. These are some of the secrets that can be found in the creation of the Spinoraptor. Now, before I even begin to dive into today's subject, I need to stress that everything that we're going to be discussing is... Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about the group of people who are on the opposite...
Hello, Kai Sonic here. Today we have two...
Squirrels are, by nature, really difficult animals. They're clever animals, but they're extremely wild. They don't like to be handled. They're flighty. Get back in your seat. They're a really challenging animal to work with. Okay, we're just running wild in our room. Our poor squirrel people, I think, did go kind of squirrely by the end. I had no idea of what it actually involved. When I did finally read the script, it was a bit overwhelming, but it is a lot of fun. Look, remember you ripped it off last time. It was good. We had a squirrel training camp that lasted for several months. I don't need that. The squirrels all came here from England, and most of these squirrels actually came from squirrel rescues. Training squirrels to, jump on people, kick people. I mean, they were quite amazing. In order to train the squirrels, it's actually a fairly slow process. You really have to take baby steps. Everything happens a millimeter at a time. Come on, guys. Come on. The first stage, obviously, when we have a wild squirrel, is just getting him to come out of his cage and into the box that we transport him in, or into his little stool that he sits on the set. That's the first challenge, and that is quite a challenge in itself. Come on. Flash, go. Okay, come on, Flash. We've actually named every squirrel so that we can keep track of them. There's a couple of documentaries on squirrels where if they want something, they'll go through quite a lot to get it. There was one story where the squirrels were stealing Christmas lights off of the people's houses and going and just unscrewing them and taking them away and burying them somewhere. I don't know, some sort of private squirrel Christmas or something. I was amazed to find out the varying personalities of the squirrels we have here. They don't all have the same personality. They are all capable of learning. Some are better at other things than others. We have found that some just don't have an interest in picking up the nut at all, and so that makes the initial stages difficult because you have nothing to work with. And those squirrels that don't lend themselves to being what we're calling good nut squirrels move to our groups that we're training to run across the floors. And there they go. And another one. Ba-bing. And slowpoke. Come on. So our smartest squirrels do the nut gags. Rather than teaching them to put it right into the conveyor belt, we use this little bowl because it's a much more defined area for the squirrel to put it in. After he learns to put it in here, then we turn that into putting it into the little conveyor belt. This is Muggsy, and he's been doing it for about a week and a half. Probably takes about 2,000 repetitions for him to start to understand that he's going to put it into the bowl. And he's probably, at about 400 or 500 repetitions. So he doesn't quite have the idea yet. Good boy. Peter. Taking that. Peter. Turd. One of the considerations we have when we're teaching the squirrels to sort nuts is we obviously can't give them real nuts because they would just want to eat them. So what they've done is they've made us these little plastic nuts. They look quite real, but there's a rogue element in the squirrel department, and they're actually eating through the plastic nuts. So we actually had to make them. Yeah. So what they've done. So we actually had to make them out of dental acrylic, so that they can't bite through them. But there's still one squirrel left who's actually biting through dental acrylic. So we've actually got to make some of them in metal, aluminium nuts, just to train this one particular squirrel to stop biting the nut. Another one of the gags we have to do, besides actually shelling the nut, is the squirrel has to tap the nut so that he can listen to it and tell whether it's a good nut or a bad nut. So we spent a lot of time training that, and what we found was that when we trained the squirrel to tap the nut for real, it didn't quite read like the director wanted it to read. It didn't look human enough. So we've come up with a clever little idea where we've got this nut mounted on this stick, and the squirrel will come and pick the nut up, and as he's tapping it, we can manipulate it a little bit to make it look a little bit more human. By nature, they don't want to sit there and hold it while it's moving and being manipulated like that. They don't want to necessarily keep their hands on it. So that was quite a bit of training to get them to do that.
squirrels. Her father says no, and so does Mr. Wonka, so she goes in and gets one herself. Except the squirrels pass and dump her down the hole.
We're teaching the squirrels to do the beginning sequence of that attack. What's going to happen is the squirrels are going to run out of these boxes, they're going to run up Joe and onto the boxes behind her. When we actually shoot it, we're going to use a stunt woman that is going to double our little actress girl, Veruca, and she's actually probably going to fall down with squirrels.
This is made to look like Veruca, so this is Veruca's face. We took shots of her and sculpted her to look like this at this moment. It was on her stunt double. We needed to be able to protect her face from the little claws and the activity of the squirrels as they ran all over her face.
A squirrel jumped on me, and if you ever had a squirrel jump on you, it's not a feeling I want to feel too much in my life, but it helped create the sequence because it's quite a spooky, strange sensation, which I think we were able to use in the sequence.
The script actually calls for about 200 squirrels to be in this nut sorting room. So we've got 40 squirrels, and through a lot of Hollywood magic, we're going to make it look like it is 200 squirrels.
It was a mixture of real squirrels, puppet squirrels, some CG squirrels. But we always tried to mix it up, so we never relied on one technique.
Okay, this is one of our squirrels. We're making 12 in total. They are they sit on their little seats, and they're part of the whole entourage of squirrels that sort all the nuts and decide which are good nuts and bad nuts. The idea is that most of the shots we would probably have a real squirrel in the foreground doing an action, and then several animatronics in the background repeating that. One of the reasons for using animatronics is because they don't mind doing it over and over and over again. They don't complain. The disadvantage is obviously they're never going to be as real as a real squirrel, so mixing and matching is a good way to go.
Don't touch that squirrel's nuts. It'll make him crazy.
We're playing an intermediate role between the real squirrels and CGI squirrels.
We had the one sequence of shots where they run across the floor and jump onto the girl. Now, that was something the squirrels turned out to be very good at, but once they landed on Veruca, that was the moment where we had to take over entirely CG, because there really isn't much you can do with the real squirrels. They're so fast. What we then had to do, obviously, was then keep developing the look of all of those shots so that they stayed photorealistic, yet still told the story to the audience, which was that this sort of swarm of squirrels had managed to pull her onto the ground, get underneath her, and then like a moving carpet, dragged her across the floor. It was a long process from first designing and developing the squirrels all the way to the end product of delivering the final shots.
I really hope it's going to be a memorable sequence. It was in the original book, so it's really sort of a privilege for us to be able to be a part of this and make this sequence happen.
Deep Roy plays the Oompa Loompas.
I've worked with Deep Roy a couple of times, and I just find him to be a very compelling-looking, interesting person.
I came here and walked into the rehearsal room, and there was Deep Roy. And you go, and the rest of them?
Tim decided right at a very early stage there was only going to be one person cast as an Oompa Loompa, and then every Oompa Loompa would be almost an exact clone of Deep Roy. There would be no women or children, they would just be a tribe of Deep Roys.
Well, the Oompa Loompas, were obviously important to the story, and just felt that part of the real quality is important. So I like the idea, though, that they all look the same.
It was a cool idea. took me by surprise. I was under the impression that I could get the Oompa Loompas. Deep Roy had to endure torment and torture.
Going through all the dance routines, they just work at him.
He had to, well, just have the longest days with so many different disciplines thrown at him.
Deep has never worked in this way.
Even though I can move, for this movie I had to learn how to sing and dance. We came and rehearsed him for about 3 months before we started shooting and teaching him things that he'd never really done before, you know.
But you'll get used to it.
Deep is doing an amazing job. I think he had the hardest job on the movie, really.
He had to train as a mountaineer. He had to learn to cut hair.
Playing maracas, playing bongos.
Doing Pilates in the morning.
Dive onto boxes like a stuntman.
There's so many different types of dance and instruments. We play the gamelan.
He plays 5 parts in a rock band.
Teaching him keyboards, playing the lead guitar, playing the bass guitar, drum kit.
I choreograph it with Deep, and we show it to Tim.
See, hear that? I'll get it correct next time. I knew I could dance, but I never knew that I could do the steps. It's fun when we've got dancers in to dance with Deep, to be all his other selves, or to be some of his other selves. That's quite fun, because it's nice for him to be in a kind of gang of people.
I think it'll go nicely for the horrible squirrel attack.
Augustus flew, a great big green evening come boom. Yes. Augustus flew, so big and fun, so pretty, fun and in fun. Yes. Pretty bad singer. I surprised myself. I can't hold a tune either. I've been teaching him percussion, and Francesca's been looking at the movement for the percussion, because he'll be doing a bit of drumming in it, and he's got really good, actually.
Jane worked on different rhythms, and we came up with Oompa Loompa.
Oompa Loompa, Oompa Loompa. Just visualising the fact that we may be working in this room with one person,
Hello?
but actually trying to see loads of
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, my bad. Sorry if I'm so quiet.
You good?
him. That's the hardest thing.
It isn't the problem to begin with that there was only one character. It was only when we began to realise the scale of the dances. Shooting Deep Roy on overscale set pieces, doing multiple motion control passes on him to replicate him and to put him into, the shots in numerous different positions.
So you can imagine it's an organisational headache, but replicating him numerous times. I mean, in some plates, I think we have 56 or 57 repeat passes of Deep Roy in order to make up that one shot. So you can imagine how shoot intensive this all was.
He had a lot of work to do because he literally did, every time you see him, he did it. He did that.
They just go to your right a little bit more. Good.
For example, if we had a shot that had a dozen deeps in it and it was a tracking movement, we would take that piece of the song, and then Deep would play each individual character on each spot, one after the other. However, we would then have to go between each take and check to make sure he was in sync and in sync with the movements of the last take. So we not only had the problems of lip sync, but we also had the problems of physical movement synchronization. So it was a huge undertaking, and as I said, would often involve doing 60, 70 takes per pass.
It was hard work, yes. You picked one, it is 2, 3, 10, 12, 13. Well, it was cool.
When we started to talk to Tim about the project, we knew that we could always use digital compositing to put the real umpers into the boat. But it would be a tremendous advantage if we were able to make small animatronic umpers at the right size. In building the animatronics, we would build something at true umper scale, which was 30 inches high, and that would allow us to shoot directly with real actors.
The amount of power it would take to convert energy and matter would be like 9 atomic bombs.
Seriously, I cannot understand a single word you're saying.
These are the 54 Oompa Loompas that we made for the boat, they're the rowing numpers. They have little mechanisms inside them that allow them to be drawn forward and backwards by the motion of the oars. This guy we've created just as a half puppet. His jaw will sort of move side to side and in and out, which allows us to chew. And we watched Deep when he did this, and we sort of looked really closely at the kind of expressions he pulls and tried to emulate us. Trying to get all of those things so that if we cut between the animatronics and we cut between the real Deep Roy, that you wouldn't hopefully see a jolt. And if those things were right, then the audience would enjoy it, just be more interested in the storytelling rather than the effects.
How do you make Oompa Loompa? That was one of our major tasks. And each of the songs for us was just a vast undertaking, and I hope people get a huge amount of enjoyment out of them.
I never had a singing or a dancing experience before. It's neat, you know, I'll do it all over again, yes, without a doubt, yeah.
We tried to take it to a different level, having as much reality on the set as we could. To meet Deep Roy is an Oompa Loompa.
Aren't they delightful? Aren't they charming?
Bits, 16 bits, 32 bits. 4 bits, 8 bits, 16 bits, 32 bits, 64 bits.
128 bits.
512 bits.
Welcome to Cyber Jail! Let your savage imaginations
Fact, the only tax act has our deduction maximizer that helps find money hiding everywhere.
Yo, like this video for an apple. Not even joking. Right when you like this video, an apple will appear at your front door. There might be some shipping issues, so don't be surprised if it maybe doesn't come through. But dude, what are you waiting for? Like the video.
Thanks so much for visiting us today.
Thank you for having us.
Time to change your religion like you change your underwear.
Alright fellas, how's it going today? I hope you are all doing well. So yesterday, something legendary happened on the internet. Alright fellas, so I'm sure a good portion of you guys know who that vegan teacher is. Basically, to sum up who this dinosaur of a human is, she's basically this teacher on TikTok, but nobody really knows if she's a real teacher or not, because, you know, she acts extremely strange. She basically makes cringy TikToks telling you to become vegan or else you're a bad person. She'll make songs pretty much telling us how we shouldn't be eating at McDonald's, and sometimes she'll even make videos replying to her comments, which result in her making herself look even more stupid than she already is. But that vegan teacher has been known to come at random people on the internet with a little bit of popularity and basically just introduce her veganistic lifestyle to them. I don't even know if veganistic is the right word to use in that, but yeah. And these people don't really care whenever this lady approaches them. One instance of this in the past was Tommy Innit. So basically Tommy Innit posted a typical TikTok of him saying that he was at college and he was surrounded by a bunch of women.
I'm at college and surrounded by women.
And then that vegan teacher, for some odd reason, felt the need to respond with this.
Don't be scared, Tommy. Just follow that meat teacher, Miss Tofu. She'll help you find a nice vegan girl who will teach you what to do.
Look at her smile, bro. That is actually terrifying. The situation was actually pretty funny, considering her fans actually clapped back at her pretty hard. Maybe a little bit too hard, because some were actually really upset that Miss Vegan Teacher duetted Tommy Innit. But this is her reaction to some of the Tommy Innit fans that were coming after her.
Tommy Innit fans, what the fuck is the matter with you guys?
Who cares?
My bad. Did you say so?
No, I was talking on my video, sorry.
Check out this idea I have for a Simply Guitar ad. Okay, so we see a guy in a jam session, and he's a bit sad because he doesn't know how to play the guitar. So he decides to go to a guitar store.
Oh, cool. So he's like looking for the perfect guitar, like the one for him?
Yeah, but the salesman tells him, no, take this guitar instead. Try the Simply Guitar app. It's great.
What a guy.
Anyway, he tries the app in the store, you know, just to make sure it's right for him. Then, spoiler alert, it is. So he keeps on learning at home, and he's progressing really fast.
Cool. Can you really learn that fast with Simply Guitar?
Yeah, I actually started using the app a week ago, and that is kind of based on a true story.
Okay, nice idea.
Wait, it's not over.
Oh, okay.
He's playing to his girl.
have the Microsoft Surface Pro 7 and the MacBook Pro. The Surface comes with the pen and it is touchscreen.
This episode is sponsored by Raycon. More on that at the end. Realistic glows around the edges of the illuminated crescent shapes of these planets. I like that alternate reality humanity was allowed to try to stave off destruction with some renewable energy with some nuclear plants, but based on the windmills being in the piles of garbage, I'm guessing it was a tad too late.
Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there.
Opening. Put on your Sunday clothes from Hello Dolly, a very early 20th century song about looking beyond one city but starting us in space. Not even sure where our galaxy is at first. Two things.
Here it is. Are you ready, guys? Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea what it's gonna be. It's probably gonna be a long loading bar. Oh, only 22 megabytes. Well, that's a lie, surely. Right? I haven't spoiled it for myself. I will say the launch of this was bloomin' abysmal because it came out for Android about an hour and a half before.
In 1993, Jurassic Park was released worldwide into theaters and quickly became the highest-grossing movie of all time. The movie was so popular, in fact, that theaters would actually continue to play the film all the way through the year and into 1994, where that October, the film would finally see its first official release on VHS. Now, Jurassic Park, of course, caused a mega surge in popular dinosaur content, and its clash of awe and wonder with techno-terror and suspense made the story super enjoyable to all kinds of different people. Well, now, after Jurassic Park came out, the emergence of fully 3D computer-generated graphics would soon take over not only the film industry, but soon the gaming industry as well. And popular games would soon find themselves transitioning from a 2D style to that of true 3D. It was during this period of time when Capcom would begin work on their Resident Evil games, which blended those 3D elements with terrifying zombies. Now, later on, the director of the original Resident Evil game, Shinji Mikami, decided that it was time for a new type of survival horror title to emerge. You see, he was massively influenced by Hollywood movies such as Aliens, and most notably, the then brand new release of The Lost World Jurassic Park.
That's it. I'm going to bed, okay? I'm done with you. I'm done with this.
No, I'm going to bed first. I'm going to bed first.
Why does everything always have to be a competition with you? Do you remember that time we played Pokemon? Right, you ready to have a Pokemon battle, Christy? You ready, Charmander?
Hell yeah, I am. Togepi, go!
Togepi? Little Togepi, did you hear that, Charmander? There's going to be a piece of to be easy. What the f***? I thought there was a level cap of 99 in Pokemon.
Yeah, my Togepi doesn't really believe in consent. Togepi, break his leg!
No, that's not a Pokemon move.
Yeah, you got Charmander all over my new shoes.
Okay, now remember that time that I beat you in a running race? Yes, I win! No.
Yeah, and you got Josh Dove all over my new car.
But remember that time that you beat me in a running race?
Beat you, Josh, better than you.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, one more match, one more rematch. No.
Yeah, I got no excuse for that one. Excuse me? What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm just having a little boibo and little salty pop. I've had a big heart. I just want to watch a little bit of Pokemon before bed.
What did I tell you about watching anime? It's for beta virgins, Josh. What did I tell you about eating this crap as well? Look at it. Trash. And this? What's this, huh? Trash.
But it's my burger.
Disgusting.
That's my f***ing burger.
What kind of crappy adventure was Ash Ketchum on this week, huh, Joshua? Huh? He's just a little simp for Pikachu. That's it. He's been doing it for 50 years. He's got nowhere.
No, it's not. It's not true. Ash Ketchum.
Ooh, I like anime. I love 2D anime, girls. Oh, sorry, Senpai Sam Salami-chan. Pikachu. Oh, come on aside, Mr. Burns.
That's not even an anime.
Anime is the folly of man, Josh. You need to find Jesus.
What the hell is wrong with you? Get off the table. Why are you acting like this?
I got into the cupboard, Josh. I ate all of the Flintstones vitamin gummies. I'm feeling crazy.
Oh, no. The moment that I... Fact.
Filing your taxes with Tax Act costs 30% less than the
Facts.
big
Ads
guys.
are annoying.
Wait, Christy, I'm sorry. Look, I promise, no more anime, okay? I'll go cold turkey.
Okay, fine. I guess you are my little pog champ.
Whoa. You can't say that anymore. That meme is illegal now.
Yeah, but so is sharing medication. But what's Grandma gonna do with all of her pills anyway?
What?
What?
Christy, I don't even know how you got into that cabinet. I had the... No, stop, what are you doing? That's my VR. Why do you hate my VR so much?
Hate it? I love this thing. It's just like Kim Kardashian's booty. It's cold, it's mostly plastic, and I want it on my face.
No, that's... Okay, look. You've got the skits right now, okay? You've got the crazies, alright? Don't bark. Alright, Chrissy, look, you are acting crazy right now, okay? Calm down.
Talk for someone within pegging distance, Josh. How does it feel, Josh? Me being mean to you for a change.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Remember last year when you left your Lego Death Star up on the stairs and I tripped over it, fell all the way down, broke both my arms?
I really remember that.
I was in the hospital for 3 months, Joshua.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. So this wasn't my fault. What was mean about that?
You told everyone you were getting your dishwasher repaired.
Okay, look, it's funny. I'm gonna make jokes. It's funny. Look, can't we just look? I'm sorry, okay? Can't we be?
Stay away from my coochie. I've got a suggestion for your next video, Josh. Why don't you text your mum saying, "Help me, I'm in danger." Then put your phone on vibrate and shove it up your ass.
That's not going to do anything for me.
That's plenty for me.
Okay, that's see, I don't know why you're being like this to me. You see, I'm trying to simp, but you're making me limp.
You are useless. Just like the French, those filthy chain-smoking acrobats.
Now's not the time for you to go on another one of your tangents about the French, okay? They're doing their best. All right, look, I'm just going to do some dishes, okay? And then I'm going to bed. I've had enough of this crazy crap. Every single weekend this happens.
Are you ready for a domestic abuse speed run? 100%.
Okay, that is illegal.
Yeah, and so is defecating in public, but the Walmart cashiers never say anything to me about it.
What?
What?
Pop quiz, Greg. What's the first ingredient in Smucker's Natural Strawberry? Very smart, Greg. Very smart.
I didn't have to be here, Josh. I could have been something. See, I was a painter. I did this when I was 6 years old.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. It took me months.
Okay, well, fine. Here, paint. Do a picture then if you're such a good picture drawer.
Watch this, you little simp.
That is the worst piece of crap that I've ever seen. What is that?
I broke both my arms, Joshua. They don't work anymore.
Give me that.
Give me a break.
Give me the thing. No. Give me it. You drew on the wall. You didn't paint that.
It's a piece of art.
No, it's not. It's crap.
You're crap.
Who painted this then, huh? Who painted that splendorific piece of poop?
Nobody did. It was when the dog ate 24 coloured crayons and shit on the rug. It's just easier to put it on the wall.
Oh, explains the smell. What's this painting represent, huh? What's this one called?
Well, as you can see from these strokes here, it's the man, and he's saying, "What are they?"
Okay, that's being silly now. You're turning this house into a house of memes. It's not a house of memes. It's a house of serious stuff. Okay. All right, that's it. I've had enough of this. I'm watching anime. This shit has to stop. Okay.
What did you say you were doing, Josh? What did you say you're doing?
I just want to see Pikachu. Please don't smush my brain in. Please don't hit me with the bat.
Oh, you wish I'd hit you with this. This is going where the sun don't shine.
Okay. No, stop. That is illegal. Okay.
Yeah, and so is vehicular manslaughter.
What?
I mean illegal U-turns.
Okay. I'm starting to think that I really don't know that well. You're really starting to scare me. That's it. I'm going to bed. Okay. I'm done with you. I'm done with this shit.
No, I'm going to bed first. I'm going to bed first.
What?
I'm going to bed.
Christy, stop.
I'm going to bed first.
Wait. Why does everything always have to be a competition with you? Do you remember that time we played Pokemon? Right, you ready to have a Pokemon battle, Christy?
I've got to grab it.
No, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
This little thing has ruined my life ever since you you got it. All you do is spat the 2D anime girls and play games with Molly. What?
Take an interactive journey through the year's biggest video trends.
Fucking game.
Strange markings on the wall. I think we need to decipher them to get out.
¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué está pasando?
Oh my god. No, I don't think it says that.
Oh my god!
This video is brought to you by Dragon Tamer. Without Dragon Tamer, this video wouldn't exist. You'd be watching Mr. Beast give poodles to homeless people or some
CD Projekt Red. They were going on and on about how they'd create this vast open world with a branching storyline. The feeling of being there, of walking the streets of the future, is really going to be breathtaking. Oh, I will, you foul creature of the night. Bring me peace. Why's that? Keep you from eating more babies?
Of all the traits are you talking about, human?
You eat babies. You have to survive. Everyone knows that. It's your fault.
Wait! Berries and mushrooms, you fool! We did. Now none of us are left.
You know why the fuck I do that bullshit.
Lost my fucking head. Welcome to Planet Zoo, and thank you for joining me on this adventure as we make our first ever proper zoo. I just want to say a big thank you to Frontier for sending me the game over early so I could just kind of relax and enjoy it, because I feel like with a game like this, you can't just, start one of these games with like, what's up guys, how you doing with that snow? Wow! You kind of need to relax and enjoy it.
Yeah, still here.
In my last pod, I just jumped into
I gotta remember your live streaming, so I'm like,
I
that's all I
started
kind
with
of
40
focus on.
grand. We now have $3,000. So, what has James spent all of his money on? Well. If you look over here, if you look to your right, we have a beautiful, I call it the Four Finger Garden.
It's so supposed to
We are actually in the UK. Ignore him over there. I think I moved the shops and he just sort of apparently just stayed there. So, yeah, we're in the UK or Europe. And if you've ever been to Europe, or especially the UK, we have a thing called nettles. This is something that absolutely shocked Whitney. Because nettles are these plants that if you touch them, they sting you and you get like little white lumps on you. It's some sort of acid. And the theory is that if you rub dock leaves on you, it cancels out. Actually, that's false. Dock leaves have the same acidity or toxin or whatever that nettles have. So it's just an old wives' tale. But I spent ages on this bit. Too long. I've got to admit, way too long. Putting nettles all around the sides, making it look all nice. And putting a huge big tree in there. Also, this is my half-assed attempt to just be like, you know what, we need things. And this was at the point where I was running out of money, but where I spent most of the money is over here. So here we go. I made a little cave for whatever animals we're going to put in here. I'm hoping giraffes. That's what I'm aiming for, but I'm thinking maybe a big African safari where we can have giraffes, gazelles, gemsbok, all that jazz. Now, I also figured out that I'm probably not going to be able to afford giraffes, even though I do have 600 conservation credits.